40 chess. Yeah. 40 chess. 40 chess. Let's get it.
Yo, is that T-Dog?
40 chess. 40 chess. Hey. 40 chess. This a trade show. Patreon where the trades go. Tap in and watch. That's what you came for. Ain't gotta say my name. They know my name, bro.
What's good, man?
We got McNutted in ATM. Always start off the show with a trade from them. You should always make sure that your trade is in. Patreon, why not be a Patreon? Know you wish you could spend every day with them. Tap in and say what you gon' say with them. South Harmon can fill up a stadium. Next time you log in, make sure that you bring a friend. We about to kick off, let the day begin. Go follow the socials. 40 Chess FF is posted. If your trade is an F, you get roasted. Go like and subscribe for the crew. Apple, Spotify, and the YouTube. You know Koopa got the warp too. Let us give you a walkthrough. 40 Chess. This is 40 Chess.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back into the Dynasty Trade Show. So glad you could join us. Just a reminder, if you want your deals featured, patreon.com/South Harmon. $5 tier get you access to the trade channel. You can drop them in there. We'll roast you. And you can even make like crazy bets where you, as an Eagles fan, have to wear a Cowboys jersey. Oh, God. Fizzle. You're killing me, man. Paying up for the Fizzle bet. I lost. Here we are. It's disgusting, Adam.
I'll be honest.
I hate it.
It kind of looks. It doesn't look bad on you, man. It really.
No.
It's like it's a common question nowadays. You ever think about switching teams? You know.
No. Absolutely not. This feels like I wiped my ass and then put on the tissue paper, like and I'm wearing it around town. So,
I think it's like a bandwagon type deal. You know, he just McNutted's team's America's team. Speaking of which, let's take a look at McNutted's team and a trade he made for his team. If you want to have us take a look at your trade for your team, you want to be on America's team, which is South Harmon. Patreon.com/South Harmon. $5 a month gets you in the door. Mike, let's talk about it, man. What happened?
What happened?
Deal. Shit, too.
This,
Big Corey.
Hey, you know, I've been dominating this league for forever, since its inception. Shout out Leo DiCaprio.
Bang.
Inception.
Bang.
It was a little flex. Won the league 2 years ago, and I think I took second last year. I think I did lose in the finals, but It's been a good run. A little bit of a reset. I don't own my 25 or 26 first, Adam, so I'm not like fully hitting the panic button. And Koopa does own one of those picks in 25, so we'll see if we can get something worked out, but it's Koopa, so probably not. So how about a little bit of a soft reset? Just sending Amon-Ra away stinks. Like that never feels good, right? Even in a start 14 best ball.
Right. Yeah, I mean, well, I would say, well, I'll let you finish about the entirety of the trade first.
It sucks to say, but the rest of them, I could care less, right? Tyler Boyd, KJ Osborne, Tanner McLaughlin, Jared Goff doesn't. Sorry to you, Jared Goff fans. Like, this is one that I'm like, he's okay at him, but like people keep really pushing him up. I don't understand it. I'm sorry if you're a Jared Goff fan or truther. He's fine. Like he's okay.
I mean, I love having him as a part of my roster construction in best ball.
Right.
But I'm with you as far as the hype train. Well, listen, him getting the contract, like what he did last year.
Cool.
Literally no qualms with any of that. Jared Goff actually is a really cool story. I was one that was kind of writing him off, but I think the hype train needs to kind of hit the brakes a little bit. I'm not going to act like it's completely out of pocket, but
yeah,
I feel like he's at appropriately valued, and it feels like there's a hype train of, oh, Jared Goff, he's more of a quarterback one for your teams, and I'm kind of not there yet, but I'm in best ball. I love having him and Amon-Ra St. Brown as a stack.
So let me ask you, just where we're at now in June, the end of June. No games are being played yet. We don't really know anything. Would you rather have Jared Goff or Drake Maye? Like your direction really hasn't been decided. Who'd you want? dynasty value-wise.
Yeah, that's actually – you know what? I feel like that's such a – it's such a correct conversation. Like I feel like I wouldn't really fight somebody that was too strong on either side. I feel like the way I would say it is this. Jared Goff is the safe play as far as I feel like he's going to give you – we can project, I think, several years out of Jared Goff giving you production. Now, I do feel like the high-end upside of his production is not actually there. Well, some people do believe that. I think that the converse is like Drake Maye to me is uncertain as far as like what he's going to actually produce as far as how good this team's going to be. Is the team going to be in a good enough situation for him to, you know, show us some of the talent that I think he really possesses? I think the upside play is Drake Maye. So the way that I'm going to team build at this point, I'm going to draft Drake Maye ahead of Jared Goff in the large majority of my teams. Now, the only exception would be if I really need to have or if I'm going to draft production, I need that right now. Something like that. That'd be the rare scenario where I'd draft Jared Goff. But I'm saying I'm 80% Drake Maye over Jared Goff, 80-20. Just I know I'm assuming the risk with Drake Maye though right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say at the very least, man, you could probably dynasty value-wise cancel him out. Maybe a younger team or somebody leading youth wants Drake Maye.
100%. 100%. I think in a trade like this, it's about the perfect match, right? If you're Big Corey and you're trying to contend and you're Mike trying to have a soft reset, I mean, can you find a much better pairing 1-for-1 to flip? I don't think you can.
Now let me ask you, if you were on the soft reset, put yourself in my shoes, Adam, and you're just like, hey, I kind of want a soft reset. Are you comfortable giving up Amon-Ra and a bunch of turds, I guess, like dudes in Bestball? They might have some value. They might have 1 week. Tops, but were you comfortable giving up those dudes to get Pearsall and Hawkinson and a first and a second for basically one Amon-Ra share?
Yeah, that was going to be the thing that I was like, I wanted to hear you kind of finish it, because to me, this is one of those trades where Amon-Ra St. Brown is very different than the rest, but now we're talking format of Bestball Start 14. So I think if I'm acquiring Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'm with you for the record, like Tyler Boyd, KJ Osborne, they're not anything of consequence for me if I'm resetting here. Like, you can have them. I mean, McLaughlin, come on, man. Like, I don't care. Now, I think the process play probably is actually correct for you to take this. The one thing I'm even finding, though, in Bestball, Mike, I'm getting a little bit I'm not saying I wouldn't make this trade for the record. I'm just saying that sometimes I get a little stricter on the type of return I take for the, like, true gemstones, even in these deep Bestball formats. I think the fact that you got a first, second, the upside of Pearsall, and the injury discount of TJ Hawkinson, it's probably worth taking the package. But I find even in Bestball where receivers very replaceable. I guess I'd be curious to see what the warp is actually specifically on this league. But like Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of those guys that just is always so hard for me to trade. Just so hard to trade away.
Yeah, he was number 6 in the league, this league last year.
Wow.
So
and that's in start 14. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, rocking the jersey. So at least I get the mention in there.
CD.
Josh Allen, Dak, Amon-Ra, Jalen Hurts, Lamar. So that's kind of the territory we're talking about. He was elite in this league last year.
Let me ask you, was this how much negotiation went on in this deal? Was it were you torn at all on it? Did you just accept it right away? Like, give me kind of the process point for you for how you got to this point of this deal.
Surprisingly, Big Corey actually sent me a good offer to start with. Like one that was pretty good. Your daughter agrees. She likes it.
I hear that. Yeah, she's screaming daddy. It's funny because I was the one that convinced. Speaking of Inception, like I Inception Corey that he's ready to go contend. He just didn't like apparently what I was trying to offer him in a package like this. I'd have to go back and look at the counter, but the onslaught that you got here, what you received was definitely like the package that he was trying to send to me. I was just like, nah, this isn't happening for what you're asking for. So
I get you. So
I think the fact that you had Amon-Ra though was big because I think he wanted two, like a receiver like Garrett Wilson or a Puka, and then an additional plus, which was where it got a little bit off for me. The fact that you're really consolidated as far as what you're sending away of Amon-Ra and Goff, I like this return better for you.
Yeah, so he sent the initial offer. I added the second in. And then, of course, he wanted something else, so it ended up being Tanner McLaughlin.
Sure.
So I wasn't letting Tanner
he's
McLaughlin
yours.
hold up the deal.
Here, by all means, man, let him be yours.
Interesting, too. I mean, you plug this into the league simulator, and Corey is now the number 2 team with 20.74 wins projected.
He also made another trade with Koopa. I don't know if it makes the trade show, but he made a trade with Koopa either right before or right after this, too.
It's weird that 20.74 wins, and, I just sent away Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'm still 5th with 19 wins. So
I was actually going to ask you,
behind.
Last little quick point here. Is there a part of you, when you look at this, where you're like, let's say Drake Maye actually starts right away. I kind of don't think he will start day one, but if he was to, and your team ends up being, almost even remove that Drake Maye conversation. Let's say your team's in the contention that you don't necessarily expect. Like, is this a team where maybe you 4D this and try to see what that first and second can buy and still compete now? Or are you more of the mindset of, I want to continue leaning into more of a soft reset?
We definitely could. Obviously, I want to see if I can maneuver and maybe get my picks back. I don't know how likely that's going to be. I'm pretty sure Koopa took over an orphan team in here, so he has, not a lot of interest in.
Oh, Koopa took over an orphan that had your pick? Oh, man, yeah. So you may not be soft resetting. This may be one of those, all right, I got to go do this thing, huh?
Yeah, I might do it again. Yeah. I don't have my 26 pick either, but, that's the price to pay for, winning money back-to-back years.
Yeah,
but
you're
listen, I think
the team, right?
The team is still in line for competing. I mean, sending away Jared Goff, you're like, oh my gosh, what if Drake Maye doesn't play? This is weird. I got Brock Purdy on this team. For anybody who knows me, right? That's my QB1 now.
This is like Mike's team that now at this point he's got to take shares of all the guys he's talked bad on. Like TJ Hawkinson, not in on him, but I'll take him in this build. Purdy, why not?
Yeah, so Purdy, Baker Mayfield is a super flex quarterback. And then if you want to count Aiden O'Connell as that third rotational guy, along with now Drake Maye. So I do have potentially 4 quarterbacks on the roster. I feel pretty good about having 3 at some point. But then, Christian McCaffrey and James Cook and Kamara and Mixon and Mostert and, all these old guys, Keenan Allen and T. Higgins and Jacoby Myers, fuck it. Run it back. Run it back. Now instead of Jared Goff, I have Drake Maye. And, instead of Amon-Ra St. Brown, which would hurt, it does hurt. I mean, that was a big part of the championship runs. I got a first, a second, Ricky Pearsall, and T.J. Hawkinson whenever he comes back from injury and starts playing like T.J. Hawkinson, which may be in 2025. But either way, I think I'm okay with it, especially because I'm a pretty big advocate of selling T.J. Hawkinson if you're really competing. So I understand what Big Corey's trying to do. Yeah,
I think I would say that I think that if I was going to go for this, I think that giving him, Boyd, if I was on the other side of this, if you gave me Boyd and Osborne, I don't love it, but I feel like I can make a case now where it's all right, feels like I'm giving a lot of legit pieces or valuable assets away, but I could at least make the conversation where it's palatable. McLaughlin for me would have been I would have, you and I, if we were doing this deal, that piece has to go. You got to give me some other turd burger. I don't consider this a piece of food, man. I'm good on this, but I think overall the deal makes sense, but obviously a lot is going to be riding on. I think what's one of the more interesting parts of this deal will be what Pearsall becomes and what happens in that Frisco situation. I love the talent of him, but there's so many damn mouths to feed in that offense already. It's I'm willing to bet on it at this price, but I feel like he could end up being a point of the deal where how you maneuver him or what he becomes for your team is a big piece to follow in this trade.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into this next one here. Oh, my goodness. Cherry pickers. Speaking of, feels like someone popped their cherry here. We got Jalen Hurts being acquired for Baker Mayfield and Bijan Robinson. So this is a lineup start 10 league. Castle Black or Sabby side, Mike? Pretty simple here. It just says 12 team Superflex PPR lineup start 10. There's a side I want here, and it's not particularly close.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 4-point or 6-point passing touchdowns. It's easily Castle Black side. The only thing, it wasn't listed here, Adam, so I just assume it's very vanilla. There's a possibility we can go look at the warp graph, but if it was heavy point per carry, Maybe.
How many point per carry?
Like heavy. I mean, like, I mean, most of ours we play in are like somebody puts 0.1 or they point 0.25 or 0.3. I don't know. Maybe it's some psychotic league where it's like 0.75 per carry or something. And yes, Jalen Hurts is a running quarterback and he will benefit, but there's a big difference between having 120 carries in a season and having damn near 300.
Yeah. I think for me, just the reality of this trade is like, Bijan Robinson doesn't play the position that I want to build my team around. It's basically what it comes down to. Like, if you told me Bijan Robinson, Arthur Smith's out of town, if you told me Bijan Robinson, Mike, took like 85%, 90% snaps and was an absolute menace in fantasy football this year, I'm not going to act like I'm surprised. This is a guy that when I was acquiring 23 picks, Mike, I was assuming was going to be on like every one of my dynasty teams and a staple of that. But a lot has changed since then. A lot has changed the way that I view my teams, the way that I view the position. I actually still have 5 shares of Bijan, and it's not that I don't like that, but the way that I acquired them, I actually just went through this in a video where I got all those in the rookie draft. So it's like I basically through the startup or the way that I'm team building, I was team building around all the other positions, and then now Bijan I can add in as cheap as you're going to get him in a rookie draft.
Just
I'm
by
not,
default, right?
Yeah, but I'm not looking to send away a staple, a cornerstone of my team to do that here. That's where you lose me with this specific trade personally. And you can have a different viewpoint, everyone watching. I'm giving you as much context as I can as to why I don't want this trade.
This is very easily Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Very, very. There's not a lot else I could say about it other than, like I said, if it was some real stupid point per carry league, which I can tell you on the warp graph, Adam, it is not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I pulled that up, and I'm ready to put this trade to bed, buddy.
It's pretty vanilla, and the number 1 or number 2 quarterback are somewhere between 2.7 and 3 warp every single year for historical warp, and that's this Jalen Hurts. That's like there's a picture. I know on multi-year warp they don't have names. But Koopa did put in pictures, and like right there on 1 and 2, there's a Jalen Hurts picture. Just so you know.
It's also in Webster's now. It's like in the dictionary. It's just elite fantasy quarterback scoring.
Like right under QB1, it says Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, it's like there's actually pictures. It's like
and it says see also Josh Allen.
It's like when Mike has to wear the Cowboys. I don't know if you can see it through the beard, but he makes sure to put the Eagles part of the chain over, so you know that he's not gone. I was gonna just a quick hypothetical. What needs to be on Sabby's side for you to take this side of the deal? Like what has to happen here?
Better quarterback. If you could sell me on,
or if that's Goff.
No, I said better quarterback, Adam, not equal quarterback.
Well, market says he's better, but I'm with you.
My bad.
No, I'm trying to go up the pendulum. You can smack me. It's fine. How high we got to go?
I'm wearing the CeeDee jersey, so Dak.
Oh, yeah. I would take Dak and Bijan, to be honest with you, of course. But that's everyone understanding how off this trade is. Dak and Baker Mayfield. You want to talk about painting a different picture? That's wildly different conversation.
Maybe Tua. Maybe if I was feeling frisky.
Oh, speaking of which, I mean, let's get spicy.
Is it? We didn't plan this either. Like,
this is awesome.
Idea,
idea this
fucking
we have
Doo-Doo
Brown. We have Doo-Doo Brown and CeeDee Lamb. Fizzle is on cloud 9 right now because the plus is on the A.J. Brown side. Not that it shouldn't be in Dynasty, but let me ask you here. Okay, you got right now, I'm putting him in God tier, frankly, CeeDee Lamb. Would you in a lineup – oh, no, sorry. Bestball start 14. South America's games, which apparently it is exactly that, South America games. Cooper Kupp or A.J. Brown, or would you just want the God here?
I love this league, too. Adam, you didn't get to partake in it, but when we brought Eric on, he wanted to do some more South Harmon startups. So America's game, South
America's game. I
made it South America's game, and then I pissed a lot of people off by making it 14 team, just to fuck with them.
I mean, 14 teams start 14 is about as deep gets, man. Pause.
Yeah. No Diddy. No, listen, this is really tough for me because it is best ball. And generally, A.J. Brown, I think, is a little bit undervalued. But I am wearing the CeeDee jerseys. I can't, no cap, even though I'm wearing a cap. No cap here.
Okay.
CeeDee Lamb can break your fucking league by himself.
Mm-hmm.
He really can, even in a 14-team best ball. Like, he really can. I think the best ball part of me says the 2-for-1 is almost always the right choice. But Fizz, I'll give you credit. I'm wearing the CeeDee jersey. I will say, final answer, I would rather have CeeDee Lamb in this situation. I talked about it. So we're recording this on Wednesday night before the AMA. And last night, Tuesday night, I was on with Thomas Tipple. And they're going through their dynasty buys. And we were only supposed to do 8. And somehow my brain says we did 10, Adam. And I think I did an extra one versus everybody else. But my last one, we're doing a lot of like crusty, down the board, 10th round startups or later kind of guys. Adam, I hit you with a guy going in the first round, and it was CeeDee Lamb. Mm-hmm. Just because that stretch, you've done a video on him. That really sold me. The more and more I look at it, I just look at like week 7 through the end of the season last year.
It honestly, it's barbaric. Leagues, it's outrageous.
In most leagues, I mean, A.J. Brown had a good season last year, but like in a standard league, Adam, he's doubling A.J. Brown up in warp during that time. Like, it's having 2 A.J. Browns on your fucking team. Listen, best ball, Ortiz is still going to have like some turd burger like as well. It doesn't show it here, right? But whatever asshole he picks up off of free agency or now moves up his bench spot also counts in this trade. It really does.
Yep.
Like, that guy's going to make a lineup too, so add in his 0.3 warp or whatever the fuck he gives to it, and I would almost venture to say the warp would still come out ahead with CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, well, what's interesting to me, though, is like you kind of hit on it at the end there. For me, I look at the way that warp going, like, speaking to the days of mind warp, when I'm really reading graphs out and looking at a whole bunch of them, I'm looking for the steep parts of the curves. Or no, I wouldn't even call them. I'm looking for the steep parts, and then I'm looking for like more of the curve where it's flat. And when I look at the A-Warp graph, now granted this is single year data from last year, okay? But there is a massive fall off. There's Tyreek Hill, and then there's CeeDee, and then there is an extremely steep curve. Like it's extremely steep fall off like this, straight down. Looks like a cliff going down to Amon-Ra, who's at 2, and then after that you're under 2. The reason I say that is I guess it really depends on what you think of Cooper Kupp for one season. And the 2-for-1 probably on the process side, Mike, is still correct. But the way I'm viewing it where I want CeeDee is I'm looking at some of the names that give you 0.8, 0.7 in warp. Like this time last year, you and I were on completely polar opposite ends of the spectrum on Brandon Cooks. You telling me a year later I can't go just get the wide receiver 2 in Dallas for something really cheap? Like if you gave me Brandon Cooks in this deal, I knew I had to give away a third, which I think is probably overpaying. I definitely want the CeeDee and Brandon Cooks side now because that's what I think you can do. I look at how fall, because it's start 14 and there's 14 teams. The line for the wide receiver position is just it's going down ever so slightly all the way through the 50 spot. Basically, I can just continue to hit volume at the receiver position, but I still have the one, king type piece in chess, whatever, the one that can do everything in CeeDee Lamb. And I just feel like that doesn't even bake in for me that CeeDee Lamb, if he does what he did in the back half of the season, or even to a degree of that for the whole year, he could be the tippy top of this entire warp graph where he fucking breaks fantasy. So I'm with you. And that's nothing against Schumer, valedictorian. I think he made the right process play, but Fizzle, I'm on the GOAT side of this,
Adam, I talked about the week 7 through 17 stretch for CeeDee Lamb. In this league, just some things to think about, like 14-team, lots of starters, right? We kind of look at it. CeeDee Lamb isn't the number 1 player in warp during that time, but that's because there's quarterbacks, and they just went absolutely nuclear, and so did Christian McCaffrey as well, right? Like 14-team really accentuates that because the replaceable level is now way the fuck down. QB is
bad, right?
It's way the fuck down there. So your elite players are even more elite. But just in the wide receivers, Adam, if you keep it, like there is a massive fall off between CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill, who was the number 2 guy during that time and had a massive fucking one. Like CeeDee Lamb is almost doubling up in warp the wide receiver 4 during that time frame.
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking like, oh, it was a teens wide receiver that he's doubling up. When I talked with Thomas and them last night, I mentioned DJ Moore. Just in a normal league, that's kind of the range where he was doubling up DJ Moore. I'm talking like the elite of the fucking elite. In this format, CeeDee Lamb is almost doubling up wide receiver 4 or 5, which is like, what the fuck?
So
Are you kidding me?
Now think about that to kind of put a bow on this. Let's say Cooper Kupp returns not to 2021. Okay, that'd break it. That'd break everything. But let's say Cooper Kupp returns to like
Wide
receiver 7, wide receiver 8. He's a wide receiver 1. CeeDee Lamb might give you the same production and more that these two guys do. So
yes,
that's
just
also
stupid.
At the end of the day, even in Bestball, Mike, if I can get the same amount of points in one spot of my lineup than I do 2, I absolutely want that. The reason I break it up is because typically they're going to destroy one person. Just CD's not the person for me. So that's a South Harmon way of breaking down South America's game. Let's go to Stone Cold Bestball. Let's stay really heavy on the Bestball this train, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Look at this trade. Whoo! Mike. Matt Stafford, Jimmy G, Rome Odunze, 25 first from Big C245, who is the person acquiring the other side, and Brian Thomas Jr. 4, Justin Herbert, and basically a overpriced tight end and a 3rd-round pick here. Let's just say this. It's a full PPR, full point tight end premium. It's a 0.15 point per carry, best ball start 11. Action SJ12 side or the Big C side here, Mike?
So I'll break it down like this. Justin Herbert, you can put generically you need 3 firsts for a Justin Herbert type. Even though I'm like fading him a little bit, I'd say for me it's more like give me 2 firsts and a couple of seconds, but 3 firsts for most people. So
Okay.
Then I start counting. Well, he got a 25. Check. There's 1. He got Rome Odunze. Definitely has a first value. Probably first plus.
Yes. I think Rome's like, if you gave me 2 for Rome, I might pivot. But if you don't give me 2, I'm not. I'm just holding my Rome. Like I'm not giving you Rome for first and second.
Brian Thomas of first.
Also a generic late first, sure.
Yeah. So then the rest of the deal is the Jimmy G thing. Like fuck that. Like just cut him. Action SJ just clear up the roster spot. That's a roster clock. But you got Stafford for Jatavian Sanders in a 3rd, and you can hate Matt Stafford all you want and think he's gross and old and ugly and his wife is something for what she did to him in college.
Oh, girl,
Whatever.
yeah. Man, she was crazy on that podcast, too. Just out here loose with it, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You can think whatever you want. But if Matt Stafford only cost me Jatavian Sanders, who was, what are you going to draft, the 4th round? 4th round?
He was a
type?
4th round NFL pick, and a lot of times still a 3rd or 2nd round pick in rookie drafts for whatever reason.
And a future 3rd? Fucking easy. I smash that side all day.
Yeah. Much like the Kelly Stafford side, smashing all sides.
I smash it like it's a backup quarterback at Georgia.
I smash both sides of this thing, starter and the backup. No, but I think for real, like this one's crazy. This is ridiculous, bro. Because the fact that you put best ball into this makes it outrageous. Because there's basically one player that I really want on one side. There are 3 players that I really, really want on action side. Plus, I get to bet against this person with that first. I think that could end up being the biggest wild card of the deal, Mike. I don't know what the lab says about Big C245's team. But someone that's sending away Matt Stafford, Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., and a first in best ball, that's a team I pretty much am like licking my chops, much like Kelly was. Like I want to smash that side,
Now, my only hesitation, Adam, is the full name of this league is Stone Cold Best Ball Devy League.
Okay.
So, Devy first.
Okay. It would change things a little bit here. I'll tell you this.
Right.
It definitely would change.
Hypothetically, it just
the
might be the
ridiculous
name, too. Like, the
Yeah.
Devy part might not mean fuck all.
Sure. Well, what I was going to say is that that would definitely change the way that I'm viewing this trade. I wouldn't view it as quite as much of a smash. But if you told me the 1st and 3rd are out of it, though, I still want Matt Stafford, Rome, Brian Thomas over Herbert and Sanders.
Yeah. Okay.
But it wouldn't be like
closer.
it wouldn't be like holy fuck, what did you do? I want that other side either way. But to your point, if it was Devy, it'd be a lot closer. If that's a first in regular Dynasty League, Mike, this is stupidity, personally.
Yes.
All right, Koopa. Shit, too. Speaking of, it made it, Mike. It made it. You know? What do you know here, huh? What do you think? So this is the other deal that Big Corey made to try and juicing up this run for a title that he wants now that Mike's done potentially running for the title game. Interestingly, because you're going to be seeing this after we do AMA, but today on AMA, when we record this right after, we're going to be talking a little bit about Ramondre Stevenson getting the bag, which I'll be honest with you, I didn't see that coming, if I'm being completely open about it. But we got Colby Parkinson, Ramondre Stevenson, Christian Watson, Jordan Addison being acquired for Michael Penix, 25 second, 25 third, 25 fifth. Best ball start 14, shit 2. Mike, which side you got?
This is an interesting one for me. Like, I'm a Penix truther, Adam. I think both you and I kind of are. But I have a hard time saying Penix is the most valuable player in the deal. I guess maybe you can make a case for Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I think market would say Addison. I think it's pretty close between the two of them, but it's close there for sure.
So if you said it was close and we could just cancel them out, let's just be gentlemen and say whoever you preferred. If you're not the biggest Penix, I would probably lean Penix, me personally, but
I would too.
Okay, either way.
I think it's close enough though.
Would you trade away Ramondre, Christian Watson, and Colby Parkinson did sign a deal for a second, a third, and a fifth?
I wouldn't.
Okay, this one I didn't understand from Koopa. I really didn't. I'd be interested to hear what he said about it, but I felt like he was just trading away pieces to trade away pieces, and these aren't Raheem Mostert. They aren't insert super fucking gross guy, right? Super terrible wide receiver that please just get him off my team before they die and I get nothing. I didn't really understand it, I guess. I think maybe his podcast, if you're going to be bad, be really fucking bad.
I feel like this one is one of those where, okay, if you're telling me you probably are feeling like I feel like I can actually team build around Penix, and if you viewed it more as, Mike, if you viewed it as you're getting rid of Ramondre and Addison, although that's heavy for Penix, but that was what the cost needed to be for you to kind of build your team around the quarterback, I think you're overpaying in the market sentiment, but I get why you might do that. Now, if you told me it was a second, a third, and a fifth for Parkinson and Watson, I could get more behind it. I'm with you. I probably would have needed a little extra back here somewhere. If you would have thrown me, knowing this is a pre-NFL draft for rookie drafts, you would have thrown me another third in here somewhere or something like that where I can maybe make a case for the value and just utilizing the picks here. It felt a little bit light for Koopa. I know he has to have a plan. The warp calculator definitely told him something. I personally would need more, I guess is the way I'll say it. I love Penix, and I'm all about getting him. Just feels like I'm getting him closer to what the dollar amount will be when he's on the field than I am paying right now. It feels like I'm paying almost for knowing what he's going to be when he's the starter. That feels like what's happening here to me.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it, and it was one of those, I'm sure you've been in this too, Adam. You're in this league. When these go through and then you finally see the notification, you go to the league, you're like, motherfucker, I wish I would have known.
Yeah, well, I was trying to make a deal, like I told you earlier, and I was trying to get Penix and send him Knicks, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff happening, and then he just you know what, Adam, I appreciate the push, the little nudge to say I can go contend. I just didn't need you to do it. So, just Big Corey, I have something heartfelt for you, and when I say this, I want you to take it at face value. Fuck you, okay? That being said, let's get to the next trade.
Love it.
12-team Superflex PPR, 1 point tight end premium lineup start 12 Universal Experts Dynasty. Okay, Universal Experts Dynasty.
Universal.
This is absolutely. Slim-Mo's done. But I'm banning Slim-Mo from the fucking trade show. What are we doing? This is absolute, Mike. This is absolutely ridiculous.
I have no defense for the other one. Did he do this right when Ramondre signed too? Just capitalize.
Can I tell you? I don't even care. I don't give a fuck. This is terrible, bro. I understand a little bit of the Kincaid hype. I really do. tight end or not, I get it. If he ends up being like the true one in that offense, seeing the 120, 30 type targets, like I get the hype. I definitely understand it. But Mike, you're trading away Garrett Wilson, so that hype. You want to talk about canceling out? Well, I'm not canceling shit there. That's not a canceling anything out. I'll be honest with you. This is where the really interesting part for me comes in, Mike. Would you rather have Tucker Kraft in a third or Ramondre?
I think I would rather have Tucker Kraft in the third. I'm sorry to say.
I feel like it's really close. But the fact that it's close, and that I also want Tucker Kraft in a third, is where it's like, all right, I'm out of words. Take it away. This is terrible.
So here's a funny story, like just to relate with the universal part of this, Adam.
Awful.
With the universal part, right? Like I work in maintenance, dairy place. We make milk. And there's a certain maintenance tech that thinks his channel locks are a universal tool. So he uses them as a hammer, screwdriver, pliers, like insert whatever tool. I'm sure he's probably tried to use them as a plunger sometime. That's kind of what the universal must stand for in here. Like it's just one tool fits all, even though that tool is not designed to do any of that. Sorry, PB and James.
Yeah, I don't like one thing I've never got behind, like, expert consensus ranking or analyst. I've never been one to want to call myself that. I don't really view it that way. And I feel like when you start having to tell me you're an expert or you're an analyst, this is the type of shit I see. You're fucking the opposite of that. You're terrible, all right? You're universally bad. Is the way I view it.
I'm good.
All right. Blitzing Buzzard making the trade show. Hey. All right. Actually, you know what's it's crazy. This is eerie. I got wind that this was going to make the trade show, not from Blitz, and I'm like, okay, we'll see. And here it is. 12 team. Superflex PPR, Mike. It is starting 11. This Blitz had this so wide here. All right, there we go. 12-team Superflex PPR, 0.75 tight end premium, 0.25 points per carry, speaking to Mike with a little bit of heavier points per carry. Best ball start 11. Okay. Baker Mayfield and Drake Maye are the quarterbacks. DJ Moore and Keon Coleman are the receivers. And there's a second going to the rookie side of this trade. Which one you want here?
Blitzing Buzzard side.
I'm sorry, Dynasty Alex. Last trade show, I feel like we were, we really shared a bonding moment with Linksters. Other people were commenting, But, yeah, I'm not with Lakeland on this one, buddy. This is, like, I get it. I get it for DJ Moore and the talent. But, like I think this is where I personally am. If the second wasn't involved in this deal, I kind of get it.
Oh, yeah. Take the second out of it.
But the second changes everything for me in this deal.
Sure does.
That hinges it for me. Totally hinges it for me. It totally hinges it for me. I feel like this would be a very fair trade, like cross-positionally canceling here some assets. Like you told me Keon and Baker cancel, and then Drake May and DJ Moore cancel. Like startup values, it makes a ton of sense. That second, nah, I'm good, man. You could almost convince me, Mike, to take that side of the deal, even if I wasn't. Like, I would take the Drake May, Keon Coleman side, even if I was a strong contender here, like, knowing that I could kind of afford to eat this later. Like, that's how much that second means. That's where I'm at on this. So
as soon as Drake May starting, as soon as Keon Coleman has one of those games with Josh Allen where it's like, 6 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown, they're like, hey, we fucking told you, Keon Coleman. I afford to eat the shit out of it. Thanks for the extra second, too, to help. Like, I'm going to sell this right now. And
like, that's the other thing. I could probably take Keon in a second right now before the season even starts and go get me a nice little piece right here. So,
It might not be DJ Moore specifically, but it'd be someone in the realm of DJ Moore. Absolutely.
And it might be someone in that realm and a plus, All of a sudden, like, now I have a player there. So,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Blitzing Buzzard. Definitely the winner of that one, in my personal opinion. We'll see what comes to fruition, but still shout out to Linksters. Still shout out to Linksters in Lakeland, but that's an L for that side, man.
You know what I'm upset about? I got the jersey on, right?
Okay.
Like on the trade show.
Okay.
But our sponsors, Ultimate Autograph, I won 2 new things from Ultimate Autograph, and we just happened to record tonight and the AMA tonight. Those 2 helmets I want are going to be here tomorrow. Like,
damn.
Like one day off from being able to show them off, man. I need your help, though. Like, Adam, you got to tell me, audience, too, chime in the comments. Let me know, too. Like, what What gets moved down? Like, what's the position? So I got a Breece Hall, salute to service Jets helmet, which is really dope.
Dub.
That military green. And a Puka Nakua white lunar. So if you see the Jerome Bettis one up there, that alternate white kind of lunar helmet that they did, yeah, Puka Nakua signed one. So
well,
Chad
it's not
Johnson,
those two.
Chad Johnson, Drew Bledsoe, Jerome Bettis, Tyreek Hill, like any of those getting moved down for one of those to go
They're all pretty great. I mean, no bias in this at all. I don't have a dog in this fight at all, but Jerome Bettis is the one going down for sure. The Steeler, absolutely.
The Steelers stayed. How can you say that? Oh, well, I guess historically Pittsburgh's been a bigger rival to Cleveland, like for you guys, than the Bengals have, because once upon a time they were the Bungles.
I feel like they really kind of still are that to me. They kind of always will be the Bungles to me.
The Bungles.
Yeah, but no, I mean, also keep in mind that the Browns really are the Ravens at this point, right? Like, don't let history.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Don't let history not remind you that this whole new division is all shifted. I don't want to
rob you. Yeah, I don't want to rob you.
Well,
you can still claim them too.
I don't claim the Ratbirds, but I didn't have a choice. No one had a say in the matter. That's why everyone's breaking the stadium when they moved.
Listen, I feel better.
I just feel like
Cleveland.
of all those guys though, definitely the Steelers I'd like to get off your shelf, but it's more so that I think the other names for me I'd want to keep up there.
I get you.
Probably Bledsoe and Jerome
Bledsoe
Bettis are the
down.
tough ones. Yeah, those are the two that I would be considering.
I think Drew can move down, right?
That's fair.
Drew
I got a strong place in my heart for Drew. I really do.
I like Drew.
I do too.
One-time Cowboy, by the way.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the jersey.
Absolutely.
You probably rocked one of these back in the day.
Yeah, man. I was a big Drew Bledsoe fan. Curtis Martin, that whole Patriots team back in the day, they were fun.
I'm glad they did away with that helmet though. So that's obviously not the helmet he wore, but you remember the big ass 3-bar face mask shit? Dan Marino wore one.
Yeah.
Bledsoe wore
the QB face mask. That was what that thing was. The heavy it used to cover down past your chin, you know.
You're a Big Ten fan. You remember Drew Brees used to wear one of those at Purdue.
It felt like his also went into his chest. So he's such a small guy. It was like just a big fucking face mask on his ass. But
glad they did away with those.
Absolutely.
Go check it out though. Signed sh.it. sh.it. A lot of cool shit over there.
Signed shit has a lot of cool shit. No pun intended. We'll see you back here for the trade show next week on the Dynasty Trade Show, the shit show. We're out of this thing. We love you. Peace.